sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
You don't need glasses to read?
No, I'm not. You see, the qualifications for registration, like you just bring 4 documents. You are just asked to bring 4 documents. You bring a passport, birth certificate.
4 documents or one
of the 4 documents. Okay, one of 4 documents. Passport, birth certificate, ID card, and attestation. And they say, if the document is authentic and
valid,
you don't need to ask. You don't need to ask. You have to just you just have
so
to.
that interrogation bit that was there, before
Yes.
before 2021,
Yes. It
doesn't
doesn't tell you. So if anybody comes with a genuine document, and then we don't issue passports, we don't issue ID card, we don't even the attestation. It's the alcalos who do that. And let me just, you see, 2009 Elections Act, it specifically says the attestation talks about what? The alcalo of your village or a CFO of your district. But this one, it just says an attestation from an alcalo or from a district. So it means you can leave London Corner,
go to Basse
and
get an alcalo.
So what we did, that's why I said we are doing a very good, because if you look at Section 150 has given us powers to make regulations and the like. So we made a regulation, IEC, and we said, look, let's go back to what was happening. So we tried tightening the attestation. So we regulated the attestation.
How did you regulate
We just regulated by saying, no, you don't just have to say any alcalo.
If you come from the Pokunda,
you
go to the alcalo.
Yes.
The relevant
alcalo.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did that. It's just like the
objection. Has that caused problems with some of the parties who feel that their supporters are being marginalized?
No. Like with registration, sometimes it's always, there are a lot of issues sometimes. But I think we are able. I think attestation has not even become our main problem. Now the attention shifted to birth certificate. Like we have the new birth certificate. Then the old birth certificate was, I think they stopped issuing it from 2022. That was why we called the register of birth. In the long one.
The long strip of paper like the River Gambia.
So it started resurfacing. So if somebody brings that, and the person was born in 2008 or 2007, and he brings, even whereas it is, it looks new, what can you do? It's backdated, and then, so what can you do? So you see, these are some of the things that we have to look at. Like sometimes, fingers are pointed at the IEC, but we are not the issuing
but that's why
authorities.
You have the opportunity
we are not the issuing
point
authorities.
those fingers.
Sometimes, there are certain things that we look at, because, like, this is what the law says. let's try and go by the law. But like, if we want to, like, for instance, we want these elections to 2025. In 2019, we went round. There are a lot of changes we had wanted to effect. In fact, the attestation, it was our wish that we remove it. But when it was validated, you see now, it came back. It was inserted. Because at our own, when we validated and sent to justice, and then justice did their own validation, then the political party, I can remember it was at OIC, the conference center. Okay. Then Cherno Marena was the Solicitor General then. He headed that. And the political party said, no, bring it back.
Bring back the attestation.
Bring back the attestation.
But you feel that the attestation system does not provide sufficient protection against a non-Gambian obtaining a voter's card through either false or mistaken attestation?
You see, attestation also, I don't want to go, because if you look at, you see, the laws of the Gambia are such that, you know, you have to look at the nexus of the law, because attestation is also used locally by like, for instance, like, you have to notify, if you have a child, you notify your alcalo so that, you know, like, an attestation can be, so that you can get a birth certificate. You see, that's why I don't want to go too much on it, because in certain instances it is used.
That's just the safeguard. It provides,
yeah, sometimes, you know, like,
fails to provide against non-Gambians using it to obtain a voter's card, either mistakenly or, you know.
So that is why, you see, this is why I wouldn't want to answer that. But what I want to say, this is where conscience comes in. Because if definitely you know that the person is not, why do you have to issue? But once the person is issued, so that's why, like, the other, in 2021, I had some arguments with people. They say, no, they are non-Gambians on our list. I said, no, you cannot say they are non-Gambians on the list, on the register, because they produce Gambian documents, so you cannot just assume that they are not Gambians, because how did they get the documents? So we register based on the documents. If we were given the leeway, we would have been able to interview. Even whereas you come, we can interview and see whether definitely you are or you are not. But right now, we are not given the opportunity. So the thing is, like, the registration is for Gambians. And you have to be 18 and above. Or you have to be 18 before the next elections.
Okay. Which brings us
so if that happens now, since we don't give the documents, and they say anybody who comes with a genuine document, a valid document, sort of, we register. Okay, so for us, we cannot say whether they are Gambians or they are not Gambians. Yeah.
Let's move on to another, controversial issue: underage registration.
Yes.
There have been allegations of underage people being presented for registration. What safeguards does the IEC use to detect underage applicants? And how many suspected underage registrations have been rejected or flagged during the supplementary voting?
Yes, I know in certain instances. I think I know in Carnifing there are objections about 34 or so of underage. And I think in certain areas also there are objections. Because I don't have the figures on top. I just have the global figure. And of course the figures...
the global figure is what?
1,694 objections. There are no objections in Banjul this time. No objection in Banjul. Zero. Around 130 in KM, and then 152 in Brikama itself. Nothing from Siba Nor End. That's the Funis, and then we have 17 from Yarambamba. 391 from LRR, 323 from Karawan North Bank, Wasu N, that's the CRR North, that's about 425, and then Basse, 236, and Janjambure, That's the south, Sierra South, just 20. So that's that. So the objections are based on maybe some nationality, some underage. So that's it. Because as I said earlier on, you have an option to bring this for documents.
Okay.
So if people come with this and the law bars us from interviewing them further, so we just go by the documents that they give, because that's the thing. So it makes it difficult for us.
Okay.
It makes it.
Well, you have this provision in the Act on which you can lean to further ask questions. Is that not what you said earlier?
No, that was in 2020, before 2021.
Oh, okay.
Now you cannot.
Now you cannot.
Now you cannot. That's what I said. It was amended.
Okay.
Since 2021. So, like as it is now, it says if somebody brings a genuine document.
No, I thought what you said was this thing was removed for the 2026 election. But the Act, you could use.
No, we wanted them to bring it back. But when the Act was passed,
okay,
it didn't come.
Okay.
Yeah.
As for the final register, when exactly will Gambians see it? And, will it be, public for everybody?
Yes, the law, I think, we're going to give it to the public political parties. I'm not sure what the law says, whether it's for sale or it's for what. I don't know. I can't understand, because I need to be corrected. But you see, that's why, like, Uncle P, we have, that's why we went to Soma. We were in Soma for a week to look at. If you look at this is a analysis of the Elections Act.
Analysis of the election.
So you see, we have analyzed every section, so we know. You see, those days we used to have. Let me just give you one example. We used to have campaign for 3 weeks and the like. But this Elections Act gives you the time between nomination and election. So it says like 21 days. So in those 21 days, we'll have, after nomination, 21 days, we'll have the campaign reconciliation, and then we have cooling off. So we might not have this presidential election. We may not even have, according to this new, we may not even have 18 days, maximum 17, 18. Because if you subtract all those days, so that's why sometimes, like, I don't know, laws are okay, but sometimes operation, because we are going to use this, so it's going to give us more problems for this. But for instance, if we have 5, 6 candidates crisscrossing the Gambia in 17 days, or even 10 candidates, and the Gambia, you have the South Bank and North Bank, especially when all of them are coming from maybe West Coast or North Bank, coming to the Greater Banjul area here. So how are we going to manage with the crisscrossing?
Well, you should be thinking about
it. Yeah, that's why we already have an operational plan.
Okay.
Yeah, we have an operational plan. We have a nomination schedule which will be made public, because next month is all going to be nomination and the elections. Mm-hmm. So we will definitely discuss with the stakeholders all these things, because we don't want some of these things to take us unawares. So that's why, like, we took all our staff from legal, operations, like the regional staff, and then the PROs. Those are going to be the commissioners and the senior staff who are going to be in charge of elections in the area. So we already have an operational plan. When we will advertise, when we will do this, when we will do this. Right now, we are about to tender for procurement of election materials. Those ones, the indelible ink, seals, red seals and white seals, those ones we need to procure. Yes, and of course, tamper evident back and all those things. And then we're also working on the sideline, because, like, I'm sure within 60 days we'll be able to make, because, like, the judiciary, they're going to post, like, in Wasu, maybe 2 magistrates, LRR 2 magistrates, those areas with line number, so that they can expedite And then we're going to involve, because it's a court something, so we're going to involve process servers and all those things, so that at least it's because we don't want, you go to court and then they say, no, the service was, and then, in the act, it says you have to serve the objectives 5 clear days, and we all know the computation of time. When you're talking of 5 clear days, you're not talking about weekends and all those things. So we're looking at all those things because so that at least we don't fall, for, there are a lot of technicalities,
yes,
in court proceedings. So I was with the JS yesterday, and we are further discussing so that at least we put everything, in place so that at least by the end of 60 days, we'll be able to have a complete register. Remember, we are also planning this GIS, the Geographical Information System. Yeah, we can, the tender is almost done. These people at EU, UNDP Grid Project are doing the shortlisting. Okay. So those people will go and do the coordinates. So once we finish, we know exactly how many polling stations we have, that they will be able to input the data, so that at least things are okay. So we're working very hard.
You don't have much time left, so
yes,
let's move on. The IEC, through your humble self, emphasizes its independence. You always like to say that you are independent.
Yes.
How do you show that independence when powerful political parties challenge your decisions, especially the party in power?
You see, it's not a question of challenging, because if people have their because the last time I said we listen to the public, and if what they are raising does not have an adverse effect, a substance. No, what I mean is if it's based on law and it's genuine. Yes, we definitely. But you cannot, what we say, because it says that we are not under the control and direction of any authority. Yes, we are not on our operations. But yet still, we are bound to be audited. we are bound to obey the procurement rules. So people should try to understand. We are independent, yes, but on our operations, you don't have to tell me because I give you one example, because when there was a lot of talk that I was being given money not to register a certain political party. I don't know where they got that from, but I said, look, once people
say if this accusation had come from the party in authority, the NPP, so how would you show your independence?
No, I will just tell them, look, let's go by, as I said, let's go by what is in the laws, because election is the business of everybody. So, and then it's a contest, and it's a process. So we definitely have to abide by, go by what the laws provide. And people who know me, they say, it's not a question of digger bopper. You just have to, because you have.
Have you had an instance where?
Yeah, you have conscience.
Have you had an instance where you showed this digger bopper?
Yes, even in 2016.
Well, you could
even in 2016, I don't want to go back, because those people who know me know that.
2016, you were not the boss, huh?
I was not the boss, but I had a say, big say. Yes, okay. I wouldn't go into details.
Okay, so what should a political party do when it believes the IEC has got something wrong, which the IEC does not want to correct?
Yeah, because there are processes.
You go to court?
Yes, you go to court. But I think we believe, at the IEC, we believe in, right now we have a consultant on dispute resolution from the Commonwealth. So we're trying to build mechanisms, there are options before going to court. Now, for instance, now even the civil procedure now, civil procedure before you go to court, there is ADR. Yeah, so we want to we mitigate those things, and there are political parties who genuinely come. or individuals who genuinely come to the commission, and well, if they have concerns to raise, if they have suggestions, they come and then we dialogue. Yeah, we dialogue. I think it's better than always litigation. Yeah, because in 2021 we went for. That's why if you look at some of these things now, in the operational plan, we may have 10 days for nomination, but we'll leave 2-3 days for corrections. Because you know certain candidates went to court the last time and they say no, we didn't give them. It's their right to be given time to correct. So you see, all these things are factored. So now we will do the nomination, but we will have 2 or 3 days for people like candidates who may not have had, you know, like the full documentation, you know, to correct before the end of nomination. Yeah, so we're taking cue of all these things, you know, to mitigate, because litigation sometimes takes time, and then it takes time, and then money and all those things. So we are trying to make sure that we improve the process so that, I mean, we minimize those, and then we do more of dialogue and meeting, you know, so that we can come to terms. Yes.
Okay. What would you say to a Gambian who looks at 24,058 multiple registrations, 3,713 omitted 18 omitted names, continuing disputes over the register and allegations of ineligible registrations, and says, I'm beginning to lose confidence in the entire electoral process? What message, you know, would you have for such a Gambian?
Yes, I would say, as I said, it's a process where we're moving on.
But they're losing confidence in the process.
No, I don't think anybody should lose confidence, because at the end of the day, at the end of the revising courts, we'll give you a credible register. Yes, everything. Anybody, I can assure people that anybody who is registered and is supposed to be on that register is on the register. Nobody is omitted or deleted who should have been on the register. All those deleted are double registrations, and they should not be on the register, because in the first instance they committed a crime. We said we give them amnesty, so we move. Yeah, so there will be improvements, and maybe after this cycle in 2031, maybe we will try and evolve, because in fact what we were looking at is continuous registration, you know, like as it happens, and then maybe what is happening now, because if one day we have a civil register, then we will all move away from some of these things, because the civil register will just be put together with the registration, so that maybe once you are 18, you are automatically, like in South Africa and the other thing, you are automatically registered. I think we hope and pray that, you know, like we will evolve to that instance, and then we will, because Uncle P, we can never have, I mean, 100% register. What I mean by that is the register as it is, deletion is not in the list, in the provision. So all those people who died from 2021 to now, you cannot delete. Their names are still on. So people should we should just move on with this.
So meaning dead people could potentially still be voting.
No, they cannot vote
in 2026. Well, their names are there.
Their names are there,
somebody
but you
can come and pretend to be Peter Gomez, who probably.
We will detect impersonation, and we will take you to court. So we will not, because you see, these are all things that we should move on. You know, like, so that at least, because if you say you want to have an up-to-date register, you have to do deletions.
So let's get this right. So when we said in 2021 we had just shy of 1 million voters, actually some of those names are actually dead people's names.
Yes, they're dead. Yeah, because So that's it. So you know, we just have to be, you know, frank and honest, and tell people the reality, because deletion. We had it once, but it was difficult. You go and ask people. Sometimes you ask to the hospitals, you know, to give you names. Sometimes you go to the houses. people start crying and all those things. And then you go to some villages, they say, Lamin. I'm just giving, sorry to take that. Lamin, maybe Lamin Sonko. And maybe there are 5 Lamin Sonkos in the village. Which Lamin Sonko are you referring to?
So it's only be dying one at a time.
Yeah, hopefully. So it's a big thing. So I think it was removed from the laws, and I don't think it is in the 2025. So these are issues because our process is an evolving one. So we keep on dialoguing, and then we keep on improving, so that at least we come. Because of course, at the end of the elections, I have to be frank. We say we have this number of turnout, but if you look at it, it may not reflect because you have people, who've passed away whose names are still on. So that's that. Wow. So maybe in 2021, because the registration was up to May, June, July, and then July to December, that was how we were able to get 89. Like the 2021 is 89.34. That was a huge turnout. Yeah. That was probably a huge
largest so far.
Yeah, it's largest. Yeah. Yes.
Well, you wanted to be here only until 1:45. It's 8:54. I'll make this a final question.
Yes.
So when on December the 5th, 2026, a Gambian walks into a polling station, are you saying they can cast their ballot and every candidate can have absolute, including the voters themselves, confidence that the person that is casting the vote is legally entitled to vote, that legitimate voters have not been excluded, and that every vote cast will come from a clean and credible register?
Of course.
Is that your guarantee?
That's my guarantee,
to the Gambian people?
That's my guarantee. And then to safeguard that, what we hope to do is we're going to make an album of all those double registrants, so that they don't cause problem when they go to the polling stations. But to also help them, those who should have replaced and went unregistered, we're opening a window in October, November, so that they can replace their cards, so that they will be able to vote.
Or if they don't replace those cards, they won't be able to vote?
Yes, because those who lost their cards. Because even now, I told you, even the supplementary, we have picked some cards for the supplementary. So looking at things, if you don't have your card, you're not going to vote. So that's why we're going to open a window, so that at least those whose cards are mutilated and others, they can replace, so that they'll be able to vote. Because we don't also want problem. Because sometimes, people put their cards in their wallets. So even the face, sometimes you can't recognize.
I always put my card in my wallet.
Yeah, you can't recognize.
Well,
so
I'll let you look at my card before you leave.
Yeah, so we'll give people opportunity, because we don't want you to go to the polling station and say, no, Kimal did it, Kiruyo. You understand? Because they can't, sometimes, not even the picture, even the writing sometimes is faded. So you don't understand, you don't know whose name is on the card and the like. So we want to give people the opportunity to make sure they replace, so that they have new cards, so that we will not have problems.
I'll let you inspect my card before you leave. Joe, thank you very much for coming.
All right.
Sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country, with the most competitive prices in the market.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with Access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.